Got to chisel our garden this fall. Got this little chisel plow from Kunz Engineering, and I thought it'd be good to have some fun. I thought while we're at it, we saw that it was a pull type plow. We could pull it behind the 1025R, or we could pull it by the Gator. Let's get started. What? Dave.
It's a little bit cold out, Tim. The 1025 doesn't have a heated seat. I know that your $10,000 option does, but when we're driving it normally, it doesn't. This has heated seats.
Yeah, but will this pull?
Sure it will. You've told me repeatedly it's as good as any truck out there. So today, we're going to prove it.
Let's get started. Now, Dave, this little chisel plow is actually meant for ATVs, right? I mean, it's got this electric actuator to lift it so that you don't have to have hydraulics. Well, for the tractor, that just means it's a little bit slow, but it'll work fine, right? We got up to 5 shanks here. Here's what the shanks look like.
Nice, nice. And I see we've got additional, whatever you want to call those, shoes, shovels.
Those are called sweeps.
Sweeps, okay.
Yep, these are 9 inchers, I think, and they come with it. And you can put those on instead of the chisel points.
Right.
Notice I haven't got them out yet because I don't need them here in the fall. They're useful for spring tillage a little bit, and they're also useful for weed control because when you get those full width, they'll cover.
Right. A lot more ground.
They'll cover the entire width if you put every shake in, see, so that no weeds can slip through. There's discs in front, and these are for dealing with the trash, right? So like corn stalks, it's supposed to cut those corn stalks so that they don't plug up back here.
Okay.
It's actually a top link, a 3-point top link, like on a tractor right in here to adjust the tilt. The discs will kind of serve to keep it out of the ground. They don't go in very well. And I believe these will really dig in.
If we let them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we want to get that adjusted right. And we also have some adjustment right here in the shanks as the different depths. I want to go deeper. I want to go like right there. So let's drop these down. I've only got 3 shanks on it at present. Honestly, I don't think I can pull all 5. This thing's 43 inches wide. I may need to level it up just a little bit since we're putting those in that deep.
You could probably pull all 5 with the truck, yeah.
You're talking big about that truck, Christy.
Hey, I like the truck.
Let's see if Johnny can handle this. Hey, please take a moment to press the like button and subscribe to our channel. Double check that you're still subscribed. Lots of people report that they have become unsubscribed somehow, so double check. I'm starting out here with Johnny in 2-wheel drive. Extend that top link a little more, put it in the ground just a little bit more. That's probably enough. Extending that link is tilting the frame of this chisel plow toward the rear. That in itself will allow the shanks to go in deeper. But we're seeing another phenomenon here as well, and that is that when we tilt it back a little further, it's sucking itself down better. In other words, it's pulling down to where those gauge wheels are actually spinning. And as we go along here, you'll see that it gradually goes a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper until Johnny just can't handle it and the rear wheels start spinning. Shifting into 4-wheel drive helps a lot. I immediately go forward, but I'm still having trouble, so I'll use the actuator here to lift the whole attachment just a little bit so it doesn't dig quite as deep. And with that adjustment, I can pull it much easier. So for the rest of this pass, I'm trying to make small adjustments with the actuator to get it as deep as I can pull it without me spinning out. I think in all the years I've had the VersaTurf tires, this is the first time that I've thought that they weren't the optimal tire for the situation I was in. I'm fairly certain that the industrial R4 tires would have provided a bit more traction here. But hey, this is not something I would do very often. Dave, it's a little slick on top because of the dew and a little bit of rain yesterday, but it's dry underneath. We didn't get much rain. I really like what this looks like for fall tillage.
It looks pretty good. I don't have any complaints about it.
And I really like how it digs in. I think it may be adjusted just a little bit more than little Johnny can pull on this slick surface.
Just a touch more aggressive, yeah.
So Dave, why don't we shorten this just a little bit?
Let's see.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, we're going that way.
That's enough. And these tires, see, are serving as gauge wheels. When that's all the way down, they don't let it go in any deeper.
Right.
That's exactly what we need here, is just the ability to control that depth. That aspect is working perfectly. I noticed that there's weight boxes on here, but the way these suck down,
Almost don't really need it.
I don't see the need for the weight boxes. Maybe
Possibly
front disc.
a different soil type or something, it wouldn't pull as good.
Yeah,
Needs that initial weight to get it in there.
could be, and it could be the discs in the front. We've got all 5 discs on the front. We probably would only need the 3, 1 in front of each
Right.
rear shank, but stop a second. If I had this test to do over, I would remove 2 of those disc blades corresponding with the shanks that I've removed. Having all 5 of the discs in is holding up the frame such that the gauge wheels aren't touching the ground very often. So in this area, we can't do tillage in the spring, deep tillage. It has to be done in the fall because of the way the soil works. We just can't dig it up like that in the spring. You have big clods, you just can't deal with those big clods. You fight them all summer long. If you do that tillage in the fall, it has time to melt down on its own. And then in the spring, we can take a much shallower approach to the tillage. That's the way they do it around here. It's not the way they did it where I grew up in southern Illinois. It's just different soil types, different areas are different. Dave, let's try this thing on the Gator.
I like that idea.
We'll have to run the electric here. We've just kind of got it temporarily wired up here directly to the battery. Requires 30 amps, max of 30 amps to run that actuator. So we can't run it off the cigarette lighter plug. We have to basically connect directly to the battery. There is a fuse in line here, so it's safe in that regard. And well, we have plenty of cable here. Obviously, if you were going to be running this thing for a longer term, you would wire it up, more permanently than what we've done here. You're done in there, aren't you, Dave?
Yes.
One of the primary purposes of this top link adjustment here is for different drawbar heights, right? So once you get it adjusted level for your drawbar height, it should work fine, and you won't really have to adjust it again. And the way this is made, the way this top link is made, it raises and lowers level. I'm going to try it in 2-wheel drive first. I believe I better find 4-wheel drive.
I might have it set a touch deep.
I don't believe the Gator had any trouble.
Not after you put it in 4-wheel drive.
Now, how easy is it to turn and line? It takes a wide spot to turn the thing around.
Well, I don't think that Gator has the greatest turning radius.
Dave, don't tell Johnny. Maybe we better not talk very loud here, but I'm pretty sure the Gator pulls it a lot easier.
I think it does. What's our horsepower rating difference
It's
here?
in the 50s, right, on horsepower, and
Right.
I didn't think the horsepower would be the issue. I thought that we wouldn't see as good a traction with the Gator.
Yeah, but I think that's probably comparable in weight, especially without the loader, isn't it?
It might be,
So-
but it really, as soon as we turned that front wheel drive on,
Oh, absolutely. It had no issues.
It
I mean,
really
it's
did.
definitely pulling,
yeah, oh, it pulled it hard.
but
I think we're going a little bit deeper,
we're definitely going deeper.
but you're thinking that truck will pull it even easier.
Well, failure is always an option. Actually, I hope it spins out.
I was wondering, you're the one that's like saying this truck is going to do well, and yet I haven't heard you say a kind word
Well,
about this truck.
I'm putting words in your mouth, but you have said repeatedly that it's the best truck ever.
It sure is the most comfy truck ever.
It is very comfy. Drives kind of like a minivan.
I don't think that was intended as a compliment either.
No,
Okay, well, let's try it. Drawbar's a lot higher here. Dave has such confidence in this thing. I'm gonna put the other 2 shanks on.
That's not a fair test.
Who's
well, it
about
has an
being
unfair advantage.
who's about being fair?
It does have an unfair advantage.
I don't think we have to be incredibly permanent with this wiring. I don't think this is going to be something that we try to do 100 acres with, Dave.
Sure, the lap of luxury. Air conditioning, heated seats, leather interior.
135,000 miles. When we go to sell it, we'll have to say, and 1/10 of those miles was on a chisel plow.
Yeah, something like that. Now, Tim, what traction control setting did you choose?
I've got to work on that.
Okay.
We'll take a look at that inside here. Dave, I've got like 4 modes here. I've got normal, snow, mud, sand. I don't see chisel plow anywhere.
I would pick mud.
Mud.
This is not normal.
Okay, so I must tell you how this went down, and I thought it was pretty funny myself. Actually, when we went to buy this thing, this guy was bragging about these 4 modes.
Right.
He says, oh, you've got snow, mud, and sand, and normal. And I says, okay, well, how does it actually behave differently?
Right.
What he said was, well, you use the mud for mud.
Right.
You use the sand for sand. You use the snow for snow. And you use the normal for normal. And I said, yeah, but how are they different? He said, no, you use the... He went through that like 4 times.
So he doesn't know, we don't know, but we're going to find out today, aren't we?
Yeah, we got it on mud.
Well, so if this doesn't do it, then upgrade it to snow, and maybe they'll let you spin the tires a little bit more.
Okay. Maybe that's what
know.
it is. Okay, and I need to put it in L for lug.
Yeah, yeah. Load
Now,
your
of course,
option.
the squirrels have been working on this truck, and we have all these errors in the dash here.
That's perfect.
They're all electrical wiring due to the squirrels.
Yeah, it's still a comfy ride, though.
Yet another reason why I need a new shop.
Absolutely.
Okay, what's your prediction?
Carnage. Just full carnage. I think this thing just buries itself.
Okay, do you have me adjusted appropriately so that you can hold me back?
Yes, I have the
Okay.
brakes on.
Can you go deeper?
Yeah, let me go deeper.
How's our depth compared to what we've been doing?
We're deeper.
Not too much deeper, Dave.
Uh-oh. Okay, it is wet. The grass is wet.
When am I at the end?
Keep going. All right. Yes, the grass is wet, but it didn't spin. It lugged.
Oh, it wasn't spinning?
No, that wasn't
His
spinning.
front tires were spinning.
His front tires were?
Yeah.
Okay. We are much too wide.
What? I overlapped.
But you're,
Then my last one's right here.
yeah. No, I'm just saying we're not plowing our tracks.
I don't think we could handle anything that would plow our tracks.
Probably not. It did do the 5 rippers good though.
It did, and it's deep, isn't it? I tried the different modes and I didn't see any difference. I hate to admit. I made it to the grass. I couldn't
Yeah.
handle it on the grass.
The question is, would it handle it this afternoon when the grass is not wet?
Oh, I think it would, probably. Also, the tires are totally worn out on this truck.
That's not fair.
The grass is too much for it.
Yep.
The wet grass is just too much for it. But wow. Okay, Christy, so you're wanting to try the Gator with all 5
Yeah.
tanks. I mean, that...
Realistically, we're not going to use the truck.
What?
I will say that when I did mine, I did it in drive and normal.
Did you?
The modes mean nothing.
I think the modes mean nothing. And I was riding, did you notice? And,
I did see that.
and it really was going deep.
Well, you know, I mean, it's a solid 100 horse Honda.
280 horse Honda.
Oh, no. We haven't subtracted the coolness factor, though.
Oh.
Come on, Dave. You know you secretly like it.
I do actually like driving it. It's comfy. I'll go for it.
Yeah.
This isn't feeling fair.
Who knows?
Oh, this is totally fair. I'm not even sitting on it.
I think I better have some relief.
So you can vary it.
All right, now try that. There you go.
What does that look like? That's pretty good. I'm noticing a couple things with all 5 shanks, Dave. First is that the trash is building up in there a little
It for sure
more.
is, yes.
And the other thing is I don't think we're doing quite as, level overall the job. I think for chisel plowing, leaving out those 2 shanks is probably the right approach. Of course, for fun here, it doesn't really matter, right?
Well, we're stirring up more of the soil. I mean, you might go through this with a tiller. I mean, that is your habit.
Yep,
So-
probably won't do it this fall, but next spring I
Gonna say-
probably will.
Next spring, tiller, clean it all up. We just want to break up the ground and get all the stuff ready to kind of compost as it sits here, right?
But I'm amazed at how much this thing will pull.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really in there.
Not as much as the Honda.
Now you're spinning.
Christy, I'm gonna go as fast as I can, which is not at all. Obviously, we were just having some fun here, Dave, but I hope that you're able to see and the viewers are able to see some of the flexibility and configuration we can have with this little Kunz chisel plow.
You can pull it with just about anything.
Yeah, I mean, that is an advantage right there. They were trying to tell me that you could pull it with an ATV and that you could probably pull it better than a 1025R. Of course, I bristled at that.
But that has ATV tires on it, and there's a lot of ATVs that are better than 25 horse, so they might be right.
In our test, we proved that it is easier to pull with an ATV. Now, it's not as handy, right? You can't see it as well.
Right. I would prefer to pull it with that out of everything we used.
Even though it wouldn't pull as much. It was
Right.
still easier to handle, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, those things are just so versatile, so.
Yeah. And they're kind of the form factor that's made to pull an attachment like this.
Yep.
But with that top link to adjust the pitch, with the ability to add and remove shanks, we can put the sweeps on. We'll show that sometime maybe next spring. There's a lot of variety here. This thing's available at Kunz ENG, KUNZENG.com. And yes, there is a TTWT discount code available. The design has been around for years, longer than I had any idea. It's well designed and got a lot of little detail in it. They make a harrow for it that you can put in these things so that you can smooth out those
nice.
humps, right? You don't really want to run that in the fall, but if you were running in the spring with the sweeps,
Right.
maybe we'll be able to show it with a harrow then. Now, we have to be real careful here because Johnny's a little sensitive,
Yeah.
but I honestly think you were right. The Ridgeline is the champion.
I disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree. Well, first off, it's not green.
After all the facts are in.
It's still the most comfortable.
Yeah, but you look way cooler in either of those. So it doesn't matter that didn't do it as good. That's the best looking thing here. So you look the coolest on it.
If I'd have tried the F350,
Okay. Yes. F350 Platinum, absolutely. All day long.
the coolness factor would have been back.
Oh, way back.
I am way too old to understand how the coolness factor plays into all this.
Yeah. Well, it plays into a lot.
I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting and a bit entertaining. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. Many peoples will come and say, "Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the temple of the God of Jacob. He will teach us his ways so that we may walk in his paths. The law will go out from Zion, the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He will judge between the nations and will settle disputes for many peoples. They will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not take up sword against nation, nor will they train for war anymore. Come, descendants of Jacob, let us walk in the light of the Lord." This was fun. I enjoyed this.
That was good. And we got the garden tilled, plowed, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we should have said that. We should have actually mentioned that. Oh, by the way, we got the garden plowed.
Yeah.